It's the Full Force News Burst, proudly brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Treasury editions. I am your host, Christopher McLeod, aka Diagnostic 80. Now let's get into the news.
Full Force!
Hi, how's that? It would help if I turn this on, right? It helps if I turn the microphone on, right? Can you hear me now? I wonder why there was like 20 million comments already. Let me start that again. Hello, I hope you're all having a good Tuesday. The March the 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you've had a good St. Patrick's Day so far. I was just saying didn't wear green, and I probably should have done, shouldn't I? I didn't think about that. But cracking here is, and I hope you have a good crack, as they say. Anyway, back in the game. Sorry, there's always something that I forget to do, and in this case, it was turning this little volume button up on this microphone. Unbelievable. Anyway, back in the game. I'll cut that out for the audio version. God. Anyway, yes. So, like I said before, that you didn't hear, lots of news to get into today, and not just from the pre-orders that we knew were happening yesterday. We've actually got lots and lots of other bits and pieces to get stuck into as well, courtesy of Lenny posting about some things. We've got a snowcat update. We've got Dino Decos to get stuck into because I really want to talk about this. I want to talk about all the multitude of Deinonychus decos that Lenny posted earlier, because I think that's just made me want more different color dinosaurs, honestly. And of course, the pre-orders. But then there's a few other little bits and pieces that have happened as well. But we'll get to all of that like in good time, won't we? Which is probably now. Should we do it now? Yeah, let's do it now. Explosion. Yes, so the title suggests that it's all classified related, but no, we've had another bit of news today that popped up, and it was a random pre-order that dropped. An Iron Studios statue variant, because they've done this one already, this Snake Eyes and Timber statue, but this has gone up for pre-order on BBTS. It's the Dead Game Red variant, and yeah, you can go check this out on Big Bad Toy Store. And of course, I think Iron Studios have it as well. But in any case, yeah, out of kind of nowhere, really, and not really any sort of fanfare's been made. I haven't seen any posts on Iron Studios page yet. But quite an interesting and fun little drop if you're into the statues. These are quite expensive, I will say, these ones. This is, I believe, 249 bucks, I think. Some extra little bits in there. They're on the expensive side, and these are about, I think, 8.5 inches in height. But good quality statues, though, from what we've seen so far from Iron Studios. And yeah, just to show you, they've done that. So that is the Dead Game variant of Snake Eyes that, of course, like I said, is available at Big Bad Toy Store. We've posted the links on our socials as well, so if you want to check that out, you can. But there you go. That's pretty much, we've talked about this particular statue lots actually in the past. But yeah, there you go. Bad Wolf says 249 bucks. Psh, that's only one standard release Hot Toys figure. True. Jamie Lynn says, I saw this for the price. The design is very similar to what Diamond did. It is actually. I have that Diamond one. Two of those Diamond ones, actually, courtesy of Diamond themselves. Thank you, Diamond, for that before they aren't really a thing anymore. But yeah, that was cool to get those. But yeah, very similar statue design to the timber and snake eyes that have. I mean, I kind of feel like we've seen this particular look with multiple snake eyes statues and from different companies in the past. But anyway, go check it out. Big Bad Toy Store. There you go. Now, the next bit of news is this. Heinrich Hoffman posted that this had shown up in a Virginia, I think it was, in a Virginia Walmart, Manassas, I believe it is. So this is the Legacy Special Forces figure, which we were expecting in April. And I suppose we are getting close to April, but not that close. But it looks like in terms of showing up in stores now-ish, and I imagine going up on order and like Pulse and all those places a little bit later, maybe later this month, maybe this week. Who knows? At this particular juncture, we weren't aware of this going up in March, but who knows? They could have changed their minds on this, or it's gone out ahead of the street date. It's not like it's showing up all over the place in Walmarts that I'm aware of. This is the first image I think I've seen of it in the wild. So yeah, shout out to Heinrich Hoffman for posting these images. And like I said, I mentioned, sorry, Nictimus Primes, no green, Chris. The only green is Kraken behind me here. But yeah, I said that at the start. I said I'm surprised I didn't wear any green for St. Patrick's Day. But anyway, I hope you're having a happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Yeah, there you go. So that is the Legacy Special Forces showing up in stores. And yeah, the listing's been on Amazon Canada for a while. It has Steps Toys, absolutely. But it hasn't been anywhere else, which is quite funny, isn't it? So I imagine that we will start seeing these at some point soon, you know, on the other links for Amazon, maybe on Pulse and that kind of stuff. It feels like they're just dropping these Legacy figures now, just randomly without any real fanfare, which is a choice, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people are after these, so good luck in your hunts for these anyway. Right then, next up, following the Special Forces news. So one more time, showing up in this in a Walmart in Manassas, Virginia, courtesy of Heinrich Hoffman. Now, it looks like they're going to be $42.94, $43 roughly, on the pegs, and that is specifically that peg that is the correct peg it's on. It's even got the Legacy internal code word of Mark. So there you go. Right then, on to the next one, and that is, yes, we had the pre-orders go up today for Zanya and the Chameleon, or the Dreadnought Chameleon, Swamp Skier in brackets, and Professor Rottclaw and Cobra Deinonychus. Yeah, they went up for pre-order today on Pulse and lots of other places, of course. So Zanya was Fanmazon, so she was on Amazon and all the fan channels like BBTS, Pulse, Entertainment Earth, etc., etc. And Rottclaw was everywhere, or is everywhere. So no restrictions necessarily with Professor Rottclaw. Neither of these I don't think are going to be hard to get, and they were still up for pre-order on Pulse last time I checked, but it's been a few hours, so they might have sold out. I don't know, but I think these ones won't be too hard to get. Again, I think some people might be feel a little priced out at the moment with some of the bigger sets from Classified, because I mean, like, what, this was like $51.99 for Zanya and 50 something. No, $51.99 for Rottclaw. I can't remember now because it's been minutes since I looked on the listings. Well, $51.99 for Rottclaw, at the very least, and $59.99 for Zanya and the Chameleon. So yeah, they're definitely getting a little expensive, aren't they? Which is a shame. But I got one in these. Obviously, I got a Zanya and a Chameleon. And in terms of Rottclaw, I dipped in for two because I want a couple of Velociraptors, and I want one of them to be the sort of helmet kind of army builder dude as well. Anyway, What did you guys pick up today? That's what I want to know. Let me know in the contents I suppose they are the contents, like the contents of the comments. Huntress just ordered my Zanya right now. That's awesome. Price has definitely turned me off, says Jeremy Kimberlin. Bad Wolf says $60 for Zanya, 52 for Rottclaw. Yep. Justin says got one Zanya and two Rottclaws. Samesies. Andrew got two of each. Nice. Prices are really getting dodgy, in my opinion, says Jedi Ben. Got one of each, says Carlos, and one of each, says John. Hello, John. How you doing, bud? How you doing, everybody? It's just I recognise John from back in the day. Rewalrus says just ordered Zanya from Pulse. Nice. So you can still get them. That's good. Right. And so that is these are the two images, of course, that they posted on the Pulse pages, but there were a few extra promo images for Rottclaw at the very least. By the way, on Pulse, no promo images for Zanya. So weird. Just like the usual kind of the basic ones, but not the diorama ones, which we know exist because they even shared some on the page as well, which is weird. In any case, maybe they'll go up later. Maybe it was just an error. But yeah, quite a few nice extra images here. We've got this one on the left, which shows a group of sort of like paleo vipers, I believe they're called in this form. Paleo vipers and the Deinonychus with the helmets and gear on. Almost like, is that safer or more dangerous? Not sure. I love this shot on the right here of the Deinonychus sort of looking at Rottclaw in that sort of like head tilt way. And you're not really sure with dinosaurs as to whether that head tilt is I'm going to eat you, or if it's that sweet cute thing that dogs and stuff do and animals do, where they do that sweet little head tilt. Probably the first one, probably that I'm going to eat your face off one. Although Annie does like to do that as well. Jeremy says I skipped Rottclaw. I can't justify the price when Desert Scorpion was $26 for quite a while past month or so. Yeah, but $26 once it hit clearance though, right? Not as in $26 at the beginning of its life. That's a really good price for it. There's a lot of complaining about prices. I don't get how so many toy collectors seem to believe toys should be exempt from the market forces affecting literally everything being sold. Yeah, it's one of those things where it sucks, but I don't think I think a lot of people are aware of why, but it's like, what can you do? Sometimes you can only work with what you can do, as a good friend of mine once said, that I used to jokingly refer to as a quote. You can only work with what you can do. It doesn't make any sense, but it's funny and I like it. Got one Zanya and hoping the dinosaur goes down in price, says Dreadnought E. Hunter says I can still afford to buy 4 of a single carded figure, but biff. Funny to see Target now says $40.99 is a new low price after it was $26.99 for weeks. Oh, is that the Desert Scorpion, Roger? Yeah. And now I need 3. Forgot about this pic. There's a picture with 5 of them in there. But yeah, again, what are you going to do? Sucks, doesn't it? Right then. The other images, there are more. There's this one, which is a slight variation on another image that we did get, where he's pointing, someone like sending the raptor to fetch or go and eat someone's face off. But in this one, the arm is down, so it was enough for me to include in the. We didn't talk about them or show them on last night's or yesterday's episode. Yeah, Classified is still probably the cheapest action figure brand in this particular scale, isn't it? Anyway, yeah. Paul says I grabbed 2 of each. Love the head swap options on the Dino Trainer. Yeah, same. I definitely love how they look, these paleo vipers with the group there. Very, very cool. And yeah, love it. So that's the Rottclaw images. Now let's get into the dinosaurs. Everybody do the dinosaur. So thanks to, yeah, loads of snake armors in the background, Chucky Tinderbin. Now, Lenny, speaking of dinosaurs, Lenny posted this, I believe last night, actually, Um, I think I got to it in the morning because I was already asleep by the time you posted this because I'm like 150 years old now. Um, Ryan says I didn't order either. I'm boycotting Classified until they announce Flash that we were promised last year. Well, no one promised it other than me. Like no one's promised you that. That was me promising you that. What do you mean when they said they were going to complete the OG 13 like by 2026 or something? Either way, that's hilarious, mate. Did I just call Lenny a dinosaur? No, I called myself a dinosaur. I was the one that is 150 billion years old. Now, yeah, he posted this this sketch, which I think is really cool, and it has the vibes to me of like Xenozoic Tales, which obviously became Cadillacs and Dinosaurs eventually. But the original Xenozoic Tales comics, which I'm absolutely adore, by the way. In fact, I read through them a couple months ago from like beginning to end, the whole everything that's ever been released in regards to that side of things, including the Cadillacs and Dinosaurs comics as well, that had some sort of like newer stories. Anyway, getting out by the by, but this vibe, this design, this style really reminds me of that sort of Xenozoic Tales sort of comic era, and I love it. I think it's really really cool. And I think the actual figure came out beautifully. But also, in addition to that, this image we're looking at now, Lenny also posted a ton, a tropical F load of alternate decos for the Deinonychus, and he's given them little kind of like uh like code names, but like little nicknames. Obviously, this one's Copper because he's got that sort of like copper color in the legs and the arms and the limbs. Um, Predominantly brown, a little bit of teal in there. Very nice indeed. This is an understated one, but definitely one I like the vibe of. I also love the fact that he had these little, he lettered them. And one thing I noticed as I was going through them, when I first saw these, I thought, oh, hang on, is he is he giving them a grade? Because the first one I saw was F. And I'm like, is he giving that an F grade? No, that's just obviously in order of to make things easy to show you. This is the first version, the second, and the third, and so on. Yes, Flash Rumor was stated on his tank. That's actually a good point, Chucky Tinderbin. You're right. Yeah. Scott says Cadillacs and Dinosaurs is such a great concept. I loved it. I thought it was great. Neo Blue says Hannah Dundee confirmed for Classified now. That would be I would fully accept, and I know I'd be the only person, or maybe three people in this chat as well, to be into a Hannah Dundee, Jack Tenrec, just a redeco of this one. I don't know. I love the thought of all those characters basically in classified form, like a 6-inch kind of figure would be so dope. I'd be well up for a Cadillacs and Dinosaurs 6-inch line. Like that would be so cool. So cool. And like the cars as well, like obviously, well, just make one of them. You don't have to buy, you don't have to have like a whole garage full of them. But I think that'd be so neat. So neat. Yeah. Anyway, there's a few people that like that. That's good. It's not just me that's a Cadillacs and Dinosaurs fan. But anyway, yeah, copper version of this particular one is very, very nice. Then we have B, which again, I'm vibing, and this toxic version has that sort of like neon green sort of effect under the chin, but it's a grey and black sort of tiger striped affair. Still with that blue eye, still with that sort of like that kind of like paint job around the eyes and everything. Very cool. And indeed, yes, very toxic indeed. I like this one as well, very much so. In fact, I like all of these, but picking my favorite, I think you can probably guess which one my favorite is, and what I'm gonna propose is done if they ever do it. But this one looks good too. Again, I'm getting this whole series of redecos that he posted, all kind of like working decos, reminds me of Chaos Effect from Jurassic Park, and this one definitely, because they did this with Chaos Effect. There was like a black and grey, and then there'd be like two absolutely crazy colors on there. I bet the licensing to use Cadillac's name nowadays would be absurd. Xenozoic Tales, then do that. Bad Wolf Media. I heard they won't do Flash because his name could be associated with flashing. I doubt it. What about Stalker? They did Stalker. Toxic Eco Warrior Deinonychus confirmed, says Scott. Dark Energon infected version when, says Neo. That's a good shout, actually. I would like, actually, a full-on green translucent Deinonychus, a Deinonychus, a Deinonychus. What am I saying? But yeah, I like this one too. Very cool. Then we have Acid, which gets into some interesting sort of like interesting vibes. Same sort of idea, but with a red kind of deco on the head, and sort of like mixing up the red, the grays, and the blacks a little bit, and kind of changing that up a little bit. Not my favorite, but certainly a cool looking dinosaur, and not a problem if they ever wanted to do one like this. I'd be quite up for it if it made sense with like the figure they were doing, or if it made sense with like a sub team, a subset, like a Crimson one, a Python Patrol one. Obviously, this wouldn't be Python Patrol, would it? But that would be kind of funny. Toxic will come with Brittany, says Hits. Yep. Acid is fire, says Jeremy. Okay, you like that bit of acid. I like it. Dire version for them would be so cool, says Justin. Yeah, I think so. I hope everyone got what they wanted today with the pre-orders, says Destro Designs. Yeah, me too. I have said that already, but I also reiterate what Destro Design says. I hope you guys got what you needed today. Anyway, moving on from acid. And by the way, we go from C to E. So I'm assuming D was the one they chose at the end of the day. But moldy here is another interesting one, and way more subtle, I would say, but still actually got a lot of nice color in there too. Like they've got a sort of like very interesting sort of bronzing, or kind of like in fact that's a bit more copper than the copper one we saw, but you know what I mean, like a kind of, well, that's actually a bit more like dirty gold kind of color on the limbs, isn't it? But I do like that. And yeah, and that sort of teal that they love to utilize, but a much more subtle use of it over the shoulders and then top of the arms and on the elbows, and the little joints have those little sticky out bits of hair which have got that teal on them as well. But this one's moldy, very cool. But again, not the one I'm vibing with fully. I wonder if it's this one. Yes, it's this one. Tiger Force Deinonychus. Yes, please and thank you. I think this looks phenomenal. And I like this. They've gone a little bit subtle, so they haven't gone too crazy with the orange. It's obviously a lot brighter as it gets to the snout, but for the rest of the body, it's not too over the top. But it has that sort of phase, that phasing fade that we see with the Tiger Force vehicle decos. Obviously, the black stripes, and then there's like white elements, which kind of like on the kind of throat, around the eyes, and then again, I believe, what is that on the shoulder? It's kind of like it's a dark color for the fur on the, with the feathers, whatever they are, on the kind of shoulder area. But I love this one so much, and I think it would be cool to do a Tiger Force lifeline with a Tiger Force Deinonychus. Or what was the one we were talking about the other day? Was it Dr. Link Talbot would be a really cool figure to do with the Joe's version of this particular animal companion. But anyway, love this one. This is my favorite. I'm into this, and I'd be all over a Tiger Force version. Then we had this one, which is sort of like a Tiger Force version, but without the color. So they've gone with the stripes here, but it's just a straight up kind of like it's like a cool gray, and that's why it's called cold. So it's got that sort of like blue in the gray, a little bit kind of bluey gray in there, but very nice indeed. And your Arctic Deinonychus, good timing, right? Because you could have your Arctic Deinonychus alongside your Arctic Hiss and all your snow serpents, as I bonk myself on the elbow. That was Bulletproof that caught me there, from Cops. This is gorgeous, by the way. This figure, I love that. That is a great figure. Anyway, yeah. So that is cold version, the cool grey, as I call it, Deinonychus. There's more. This one is actually a lot of people said they really like this one, and I think it's down to that really nice deep purple color around the throat, and then that kind of phased sort of like very I don't know, like bright snout and top of the head. It's very nice. Um, and again, like the rest of the body, very much a dark gray with like black on it. But again, that kind of bleeds into the sort of nightmare idea, keeping all the colors in that kind of one area, which they sort of have done pretty much across all of these deco options, haven't they? They sort of kept the kind of brighter, crazier colors in like concentrated, basically. Anyway, love it, absolutely love it. And this is another favorite of mine. For me, it's the Tiger Force, the Nightmare, are the leading ones for me. Because again, this could be done in like, this could be done in like a subset of Cobra. I think it would be really, really cool. Grizzlehorn says, time for a meeting. Where's Lenny? Coloring more dinos. Roger says, this one is my favorite. A Diatech version with translucent green parts may top it, though. Yeah, I think that would be so cool, wouldn't it? Chucky says, Nightmare should come with purple hair Baroness. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Or is it Mistress Armada who has the purple on her costume in the Iron Grenadiers? There you go. That'd be cool. Jurassic Park said they're homeothermic rather than endothermic, and we all know Jurassic Park is a documentary, says Bad Wolf Media. Yeah. Yeah, but the other thing is, in terms of the cold weather Deinonychus, you get around that by saying that they're not really actual dinosaurs. They are laboratory creations, aren't they? Laboratory creations. So it's like you can tweak the DNA for them to be able to deal with cold environments, sort of thing. That's how you get around it. You don't have to be strict to the lore of dinosaurs necessarily with toys. Anyway, that's it. I think that's it for the Velociraptors. I'm just kidding. The Deinonychus, the Deinonychi. We also got our Snowcat update, which a lot of people was really asking for, and I think I was definitely one of those people that wanted an update on the Snowcat. And we get it in the form of test shots, first test shots of the Snowcat. Now, I don't know if these have been in their possession for a period of time. I would imagine so. But it does feel like they may have just got them and took pictures of them. But also, I would probably posit they probably had these a little while, not a great deal of time, but maybe like a few weeks or so. I love the fact that it is in this color, and I knew as soon as I saw it, even though it's a test shot, and effectively what they're doing is they've basically got the molds sorted, and they are testing the molds to see, if it comes out okay. So they're using whatever plastic is around, and in this case, they just happen to have some orange plastic knocking around for this particular test shot. So I thought as soon as I saw this, everyone is just going to be saying, "Oh, it's going to be this is the Tiger Force one or whatever." But anyway, it's cute, and I love the fact that it is accidentally orange. It's well good. Tiger Cat confirmed, says Justin. Indeed, indeed. Very cool. And it shows obviously the blast effect as well with the missile poking out too. So that's a nice shot there. Then we see the shot of it all lit up with one of the canopy pieces open as well. Was the other canopy piece? No, it's closed. And then we also see the kind of the cooking table extended as well. Accidentally Orange is my punk band's name, says Scott. I'd be down for a black on orange Nightcat deco. That's dope, Huntress. Sort of like yes. I was going to say, what was the character in what was the character in Transformers called? Yeah, Snowcat. So yeah, I do love that kind of Night Force homage redeco that character got. Um, Obviously being a 100% a Snowcat from GI Joe, and I would also be down for that black with the orange kind of Night Force vibes. That'd be so cool. Um, Fanboy says, maybe they have orange lying around because they're working on a devilfish. That would be amazing. It looks like a Tonka sturdy and chonky. It does, Jason. It does. Very Tonka-like. Anyway, there's the lights as well. The exterior lights. Very cool. Looking good so far. And then, of course, we've got some interior shots as well. So the LEDs in the sort of like display in the interior. Again, very, very sexy. And of course, lots of different displays. So there's lots of details going on, which will be fun to sort of look at, study, have a look at, and just see if you can pick any cool things out. It's hard from this angle, but obviously they have got clearer shots, haven't they, in the renders, I think, of the what's on the displays. But I can't recall if there's a nice clear one that shows everything on there. But it's still pretty dope. And they also showed the danger mode of lights. So 3 segments lit up red, with the rest of the dash still in that sort of like really cool greeny blue color, which is really awesome. But there you go. Danger, Will Robinson. They should have given the HasLab Snowcat skis that swung around under the wheels like Energon Snowcat. Yes, Step Toys, that would have been cool, actually. Only vehicle I'm ever buying for Classified is the bridge layer, if it ever comes, says Keegan. That is a great vehicle, though. A great vehicle. Danger mode is when they let Bazooka drive. Yes. Or anywhere near anything when he's got his bazooka with him, because he just seems to trip over. Although when he trips over, he takes out Cobra vehicles, which is unbelievable to me. No floor mats, Airplane City. Excuse me. Oh, I got hit by a yawn there so immediately. Jeremy says, what good is a bridge layer with nothing else to drive over? I don't know. I don't get it. No floor mats. Yeah, well, you can put your own ones in, I guess. This is a test shot as well, don't forget. Not all the details are in there. And you can't really see clearly what's going on, but I think it's probably just a flat surface anyway, isn't it, on the floor? They may have some sort of I don't know, deco on there or something. I don't know. But again, I can't remember if the renders show us anything there in the footwells. I want to down Wolverine and Lynx. Bad Wolf says it doesn't have floor mats, but plenty of cup holders. Indeed. More important things like cup holders, of course. Yeah, the Wolverine and Lynx Huntress, I would love a Lynx, actually, especially for the Marauders sub-team. That would be such a dope vehicle to have as a sort of backdrop for the Marauders, wouldn't it? Almost tempted to buy the ramen tank for the bridge layer add-on. Ultimately passed, says Rewalrus. Yeah, it looks awesome though. I passed because I didn't have didn't have the means at the time. But it's a very cool looking vehicle for sure. Anyway, that is the Snowcat update, which is really cool. One more obviously drop this week that we are aware of in 2 days' time, in actual fact. Thursday, the 19th at 10 a.m. Eastern, Walmart Collecticon will be making available for order USA Duke and the Dire Night Creeper. So just a heads up, 19th, 2 days' time. There you go. Excuse me. Now, before we get into the back end of the episode, Kitty said, let's have a quick message from our sponsor. Yes, so if you're in the UK and Europe, get your deluxe Battle Action Force Deluxe Treasury Editions from TotalToyBooks.com if you're in the US, Skeletron.com, and if you're elsewhere, if you prefer, Amazon for everywhere else. Now I've updated the leak listings. That has obviously been updated now with the Zanya and Rottclaw greened. So they're green now because they're done in the pre-order variety. Where are they dropping, Grizzlehorn? Are you talking about Walmart CollectorCon? They're dropping on Walmart online and Hasbro Pulse in limited quantities. All the usual scenarios with Walmart exclusives. Yeah, so Zanya with the Chameleon is now green, Rottclaw is now green, and of course, Duke and Night Creeper will be turning green at the end of the week as well. Nice. Mark says, or if you're in my room, get your treasury books off the shelf. Or in my particular situation, go upstairs 2 flights and pick them off the chair that you've been sitting on and reading recently. Yes, definitely. If you've already got them, well done to you. If you've already got the deluxe treasury editions, good work. Just bring on the Thunder Machine, says Dreadnought E. I'd love a Thunder Machine so much with Thrasher. Those Skeletron figures are incredible. They really are, fanboy. I have a Yeti right here. Is a cool one. And of course, a ton of 6-inch product. I still haven't opened yet. Down there, I've got all my retro and 4-inch figures out for Skeletron on a side table, and I do not have my 6-inch figures out yet. I'm gonna disperse them into the Joe and Cobra displays, but I've got to redo everything because it's so ridiculous. Any idea where the Stealth Pod will be available yet? Stealth Pod is a mainline, so it'll be available everywhere, and it will be in Yojo June, Huntress. That's what we were told at Toy Fair, that was the only one that wasn't coming before Yojo June. Everything else was going to be in that sort of like that pocket of time between Toy Fair and Yojo June. Okay. So you got a little while to wait for the Louise versus 2-pack, aka Snake Eyes versus the Stealth Viper. Yeah, but we're getting there, aren't we? 2026 already. Still a lot of stuff already has been up for pre-order. We're only in March, and we've got a lot of good green stuff going on. And like I said, yeah, 2 more the Walmart exclusives will add another layer of green to everything. Don't care when, just where. Everywhere. It's a mainline release. Mainline. That means everywhere. Stores, online, Pulse, Amazon, Bosnia, everywhere. Do we know the price point on that 2-pack? Disgusting, probably. It's got to be close to 100 bones, right? 2 mini vehicles, 2 figures. It's got to break 100 bones, I would imagine. Literally, because if you're talking about a Vamp being $99 during the good times with a figure, then 2 figures and 2 small vehicles is going to be easily that in the bad times. I should have called it the before 4 times with the Vamp, shouldn't I? Is it for sure a 2-pack? Yes, it is for sure a 2-pack. 2 vehicle, 2 figure versus pack, 1 box. The back of my car when one of the trucks get lost, says Bad Wolf Media. Hunter says the moon, will it be available on Mars? Moonpig.com might have it. Everywhere where you buy toys, as they always say, and where you buy fine toys, I think is the term, isn't it? Anywhere fine toys are sold, something like that. Wish that Snake Eyes would have been Night Force, says Rusty Steen. That would have been kind of cool. He can be your Night Force, Snake Eyes, can't he? In your head canon. Deep Six still has yet to go up. I wonder if that was the HasLab hint for the year. Deep Six with the shark. Deep Six is not. Deep Six is on our screen as we look, fanboy. He is the deluxe figure. He's the next deluxe figure, so he'll be in Yojo June. Deep Six. Yeah, so he's like, you expect him in Yojo June. ATV Stealth Pod Yojo June. The next kind of like wave of mainline figures on the left hand side. that are at the moment Iceberg and a bunch of others. They'll be Yojo June. So that whole period of time will be for those guys, and then you'll also have Linda Pet in red will probably be Yojo June as well, and then there'll be a wave of retro figures at some point. The Wild Bill wave. There'll be a way, and then there'll be other exclusives as well, kind of dotted around. But Deep Six is mainline deluxe. He's on that. He's on our list in the middle, at the top there, in yellow. Tina Deluxe, and he doesn't come, unfortunately, with a shark. Trouble Bubble with Televiper was 55 originally, right? Yes, it was. Originally, it was. If Zanya is 60, I think it will be 120, says Jin Rummy. I don't think you'd be too far off. I would think. Oh, Roger says last I checked, 109.99 could go up though. 109.99 sounds absolutely right for me. Deep Six is can't wait for Deep Six. Yeah, he looks great, even in that like blurry image on the Hydra Viper promo image, doesn't he? You can be my Night Force anytime, says Scott. Thank you. Hunter says we're different about Night Force Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is all black. Yeah. Night Force, though, isn't really always about being all black. Night Force is like every color except that for the most part. It's like teals and brown and green and stuff like that. There's only a few that have sort of like it's only like, I want to say, Crazy Legs has a lot of black in him, doesn't he? Kitty says. But like in terms of like the rest of the figures, it's a lot of blues and greens and all sorts of stuff. It's not like it's not necessarily like everyone has to be black, And I think with Snake Eyes, actually, you could do some cool stuff to make him a Night Force Snake Eyes, 2 figs enter, 1 pack leave, says Grizzlehorn. I like that. Where the turkey nipples is Iceberg, says Huntress. He's on the left-hand side. He's a mainline figure in the wave of 5. I want to know which version of Deep Six, because version 2 was also called version 1. Justin, we've seen him in the background of the Hydra Viper promo images. It's the version 1. We'll see him in a second because he's on one of these graphics in a short period of time. Everyone be sure to watch Boondock Saints and/or Darby O'Gill and the Little People, because it's St. Patrick's Day. Luck of the Irish, says Mammy Nesta. Thanks. I really want a shark that could be swapped out to either have him lay down or could let someone sit in it like the cartoon. Fanboy, man. For a shark, I would like a sort of 2-seater jobby. And yeah, like seats could fold down and then you could lay him down on his front or something. Would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool if they could do that, but it would be a big old thing. I still think you'd be able to do a shark, though. I think a shark is doable, Kitty said. Night Force is a vibe, says Ryan. It certainly is. Big Jeff says, well, I ordered some raptors from Creative Beast to go with the Cobra Dinos. That's cool. They do some great stuff. Creative Beast dinosaurs are amazing. Night Force is the best sub-team, says Lawrence. It's a good one. It definitely is a solid one. Joe says there's a lot of stuff left over in that Famazon list. Wow. Yeah, Famazon, Fan Channel, Pulse, NYCC, etc., etc. So it's basically all the exclusives in that list there. But yeah, there's a lot of it's a mixture of Pulse, Famazon, etc., etc. So, and the other thing is, I think there's an element here where one of them was the list. So the G1233 listing, which is directly underneath Zanya, for those that are struggling to find that. That one was the original listing and number for the vehicle that became the Arctic Hiss, the Arctic Assault Hiss. So I think that listing is probably a defunct one now. So I'll probably put an inactive next to that somewhere, but usually I'll wait till we get full confirmation for those sort of things. And that usually means towards the end of the year when it's like, are we getting this? Probably not. Inactive. Or we're told. And the other thing is some of the others could be early 2027 listings. So yeah, that's the other thing. So we may this listing is not its final form, is all I'll say on that one. Badwell says, I think a shark is doable. Yeah, but only if you have a lot of courage. Indeed, Kitty said. Definitely scooped 2 Rottclaws. Need all the dinos, says Ambrose. Yes, samesies. Watching Sinners for the bad guy tonight, says Grizzlehorn. Good movie. Yeah. Using my daughter's Jurassic Park dinosaurs to go with the Cobra Dinos, says Justin. We've got we had a bit of a we've got what do you call it upstairs, the Brachiosaurus upstairs in our living room from Jurassic Park, the kind of big old one. So that would be fun to kind of have as a sort of baby Brachiosaurus. What else are we saying in the list in the comments here? I am bummed I didn't get the snowcat now. Those details are awesome. Oh, sorry, Josh. Yeah, that I mean you might be okay. You might do all right in the aftermarket. It's hard to say. It's hard to say with that one. Hunter says the deco my friend made for their OCGI Joe would fit into Night Force. Their like original character. Is that what that means? Bad Wolf Media says leave it on the list with an inactive tag, but make it grey in color just to distinguish it. I like that, Bad. Yeah, so sort of like grey it out. I like that. That's a good shout. I will probably do that. It's just I like to keep them red, and then they stand out when everything else is green. But yeah, it makes sense because then it makes it so that red just means unknown until it's known, and then grey could mean like defunct. I might do that. I think I might take up that idea to grey them out. Transporter says I'm already waiting for the Deep Six. I have a scratch built Shark 2-seater. Nice. Thanks for clearing up things about the list. No worries, Joe. What are the miscellaneous? We don't know, Nictimus. But they are, well, we know that they're mainline of the wave, the kind of like mainline wave of 5 figures. So we're either expecting 2 more listings, or those 3 we just don't have any information on them, is effectively why they're miscellaneous. But they're technically the next wave of mainline if we get 2 more listings to kind of make it the 5-figure wave. But at the moment, we don't have that information at hand. So, and we don't know what they are. As soon as I know what they are, I can at least take them off that miscellaneous sort of kind of segment, if you know what I mean. Scott said the sculptor that did the Cobra Deinonychus also did the Creative Beast Deinonychus. Yes, I forget the name off the top of my head. I follow them on like everything as well. Yeah, they're really, really good. Jeremy says the aftermarket on Snowcat will be ridiculous, as 10,000 less than the next lowest produced Joe House Lab. Good point. Bad Wolf says I think we need a whole new page for the RIP code names like Chairface and Ralph T. Was it? Yes, those were the 2 from last year. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be fun to go back and have a look at them, find out from the team what they were going to be or what they were, if they can say, and then have like an in memoriam sort of situation. Where's our next redhead? Aren't we overdue for a Ginger Joe? Asks Huntress. Trying to think of any off the top of my head. I mean, I think we'd need a Well, Barbecue's not ginger though, is he? He's just orange. His whole suit's orange. Flash has got red hair, hasn't he? Right? Well, the comic version does. They probably would do that. So maybe Flash could be a Ginger Joe. Deep Six is ginger. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I can't even think now. I can't think of any ginger G.I. Joes. Ginger Joes. Tripwire, says Jason. I've already got Tripwire. Can you explain the numbering used here? How does it translate to box number? None of it translates to box number. The numbering is the so the numbers that you see there are sort of like the numbers that you see on listings. Then when you see them in like when they come into port, they have those G numbers on there. That number is actually also on the actual boxes themselves. I'll show you exactly where it shows up. If you look at the Royal Guard here, underneath the age number, you'll see a G2102. That G2102 is the Cobra La Royal Guard, as you can see on our listing as well. So there you go. Yeah. So that is effectively, it's really just a designation so you know what actual figure you're dealing with. In a lot of cases, in the listings anyway, and again, it's like, it's so that, like, retail and um, um, basically anyone, you know, like acquiring it and selling it and what have you, when you have like these listings come through, a lot of the time they're done for retailers and they're done for, like I said, for shipping information as well, so it's so that you can kind of like assign a number that kind of like locks into that particular character, basically. Yeah, effectively that's what it is, isn't it? It's a product number, at the end of the day. Thank you, Airborne's Customs. That I would have been easier for me to just say that, wouldn't it? Much easier, actually. Ross Persichetti, that's it. Thank you. It's Ross Persichetti, isn't it, from the Created Beast Deinonychus situation. But yeah, none of them relate to the number they give for the actual, like those numbers, basically. None of it relates to that. 191 for the Royal Guard. Anyway. Ninja Force Scarlet, says Huntress. Yes, good point. Good point. Team Ginger, says Joe. Snow Job, says Jojo Fan Addict. Could do a retro Snow Job. That would be cool. Ripcord, says Plastic Battles. Yeah, that's true. And we do need a standard Ripcord, don't we? Badwell says G numbers are the internal stock numbers. The figure number is completely different. Yeah, thank you for that. This, I kind of got there in a roundabout way, saying it more confusing than that, obviously. Chris, do you, besides Ferret and the Trouble Bubble, excuse me, do I think we will get another vehicle this year in the Vamp price range? Yes, I do. Not in the price range, but in the price point area. Does that make sense? Because obviously the price, yeah, I suppose you're right. The price range is the right thing to say there, actually. CCC. So yes, I do. We are. John says Cutter. Is Cutter ginger? I didn't realize that, John. Of course, Outback is. How did I forget Outback? I suppose because I'm looking at Tiger Force Outback, and he is not ginger. He's white haired. Barbecue. Topside is a good shout, Josh Fig, actually. Got 4 guards, which is perfect on civilian, 2 regular guards, and a commander. Yes, the Royal Guards, I have 2 here. I've got 1 on the way, and I definitely think a 4th is necessary because you need to have like all the different head sculpts on show, really, don't you? Oh, Topside is blonde, actually. Yeah, you're right. He is. GeoJ Fanatic, thank you. Oh, I only got 2. Both arrived today from Hasbro, says Josh Fig. Is that the Royal Guard? You're welcome, Grizzlehorn. Huntress, the number or dark Stashes of Jojo is a little disconcerting. Oh, sorry, I can't read that. I don't think we'll see anything in the same size and price as Vamp again. I think an equivalent size like a Thunder Machine will be. Yeah, so you'll see the same size vehicle, you just won't see the same price. But effectively, they would be operating in the same space as a vehicle size, and it's just obviously as inflation and all the other things added in, all the other problems in the world pile on to create higher prices, etc., etc. Coleslaw the Zartan is technically, he's kind of like fire engine red, isn't he, Nictimus, in terms of his hair color. Keegan, does this listing confirm 2 different Ninja Force 2-packs coming? It does. Yes, it does. Those 2 listings are 2 2-packs indeed. Shebang comes with someone else, and there's another 2-pack. Yes. Roger says, hey Chris, got to jump off. Thanks again for the shares and shouts and all you do. Sharps Sneaky Links, everybody go check them out on Facebook. Sharps, SHARP''S, Sneaky, SNEAKY, Links, LINKS. Go check him out on Facebook. Thank you. Stanley says, just home in time for the end. Sorry, mate. Action figure cover girl. Good point. Good point. There's another ginger. Coldslaw the Zanya would be awesome. I think they need to do the Zanya that we got at the SDCC exclusive that time. That's in all black with the Cold Slither band tour dates on the back of the shirt. That would be really cool. That would be really cool. Like she's a roadie for them. That'd be so dope. Destro could be a redhead, Grizzly. Anyway, I'm not going to get to all the comments. Sorry, guys. There's so many. I appreciate you all those so much. Thank you very much. Jojo Fan Addict says, Chris, have you ever screwed up and accidentally said something Lenny and the gang told you to? Well, first and foremost, Lenny and the gang do not give me information like this. Okay. The information we get from the full force and how we acquire information comes from multiple sources, mostly close to, the actual kind of Far East area and stuff like that, right? So we get a lot of information from lots of multiple sources, but not directly from Hasbro. Have I ever screwed up and accidentally said something, taking out the Lenny and gang bit, that we've known and didn't want to say until it was officially revealed? Yes, I have done once. I think it's just the once, right? And everyone's already telling you in the comments what that was. It was the Iron Grenadier bat. Complete accident. We were talking, because again, it was a listing scenario, and I was listing out the figures in the next mainline wave in my head rather than really looking at it on screen. And I think it was Alpine, it was the Iron Grenadier, and then two that we didn't know. The Iron Grenadier bat was one, and the Storm Shadow version 2 was the other one, right? And I remember on that episode, I was listing them in my head, going, yes, like Alpine, Iron Grenadier bat. And then I was like, oh crap. I said that out loud. And then everyone in the comments was just like, what was that about Iron Grenadier bat? I think you made a mistake. I think you slipped up. I'm like, oh. So I just copped to it at that point and was just like, yeah, made a mistake. My bad. And yeah, that was just me being an absolute idiot. In actual fact, you could probably do the research, figure out when that wave sort of came out, and then just watch, I don't know, like maybe a few months prior, and just have a look at some of the episodes in and around that time, like weeklies, news bursts, what have you. It might take a while to find it, but you'd probably be able to find the moment that I did that. In fact, I might do that. I might try and find that and clip it up, because that'd be really funny. We did actually get we've had yeah, so there's been times when I've accidentally given stuff away. Now when I say, like, we don't get stuff from Hasbro in that sense, right? Don't get stuff from Lenny and team, don't get any kind of information that way, shape or form. But in the past, they have given us reveals. So we had the Grim Viper, so that was obviously given to me in advance, which was great. So they do give me things, but in an official capacity for that stuff. So that is not them giving us information we have to like keep stum. But I mean, we do, but that isn't like the same as what we're talking about on these listings. This is me doing hardcore detective work, like literally canvassing as much, like of this information that's available, or that people want to give up, and then putting it into this sort of format. So yeah, it takes a bit of work and a lot of networking. But that's just how it is. I know you told that one on a live stream, but I'm talking about in your personal life. In my personal life, in what, like, given, oh right, so yeah, like in my do you mean like as being friends with them? Yeah, again, that stuff doesn't come up, because like I said, I'm like friends with a few of the guys at Hasbro, but at the same time, that's sort of like a unwritten rule, I would say. Do you know what I mean? Like, not to discuss certain things like that. And I have, of course, I've tried in the past to be like, hey, any information on this? And it's always met with the same sort of sorry. So yeah, in that case, like I said, my information comes from many sources, all over the freaking universe. And Chris doesn't know anything, as Scott is kind of saying there. How big is the Full Force team? Oh, how big is the Full Force team? It is a team of one, technically. And I have occasional co-hosts, of course, like obviously Pat. I would obviously as a member of the team, but we need to get that sort of like again, it's availability that's screwing that up. But I am recording with Pat tomorrow, by the way. Pat and Adam, who is also another one I would say is a semi-regular kind of co-host. But the team at Full Force is effectively me. And then I suppose you've got like I've got like little pockets and of people that obviously help. So in terms of graphics, we have the wonderful Brian Sauer of Codename Iowa fame and Assembly Required fame. So he does amazing work for me on the show, and yeah, just I've got like like affiliations and stuff with people, but like in and obviously we've got a sponsorship in Deluxe Battle Action Force Treasury editions, courtesy of you know Total Toy Books, Skeletron, and Rebellion, technically, and technically Hasbro. So it's official. We've got an official sponsor that is tight, like tangentially connected to Hasbro. I'll take it. Huntress says you've made hundreds of streams averaging 2 hours a piece. Going through to find that moment would take forever. It wouldn't take forever because you could narrow the window down to when I'm talking about so when I'm talking about well to be before Iron Grenadier Bat was you know revealed, and when actually what would be a good point? I'm gonna have to do this myself anyway, so you don't have to worry about it, but I will find it. I'm like Liam Neeson, but finding clips of me messing up. Anyway, Chris, do I have friends and family that would give a damn about this stuff? That would be unique. Well, Kate loves GI Joe, of course, and as a collector. My mom loves GI Joe, by the way. So shout out to Mom McLeod, and of course it was Mother's Day on Sunday in the UK. So shout out to Mom on Mother's Day. It's just happened. Trying to think. Dad, obviously, he's not like into it in any way, shape, or form, but he's watched the show in the past. And he's sort of like one of the reasons I'm into GI Joe, because he was in the Royal Air Force, so he was in the forces, and that was kind of one of my sort of like fascinations as a child. So it's his fault mainly, and my granddad as well, who collected model trains and made models and made model planes and had the most incredible friggin' setup I've ever seen. I used to love it as a kid. He would have a model railway set up that you'd have to. It was in a barn as well, so it's big. You'd go in the door. You'd have to duck under the table bit to get inside it, and you come up inside, and it was just this incredible. Honestly, as a kid, it was like, dream world. Honestly, absolutely loved that. Airborne Customer says, Chris, I already narrowed the date down for you above. My spreadsheet is pretty extensive, but my pipeline reveals tab dates back to SDCC 2022. Brilliant. Did you say a specific? It leaked on socials 6/1/24, so you would have leaked it prior to that date. And it was significant. It wasn't like it was a long time because we were talking about it for ages. I'm pretty sure 6/1/24. Thank you. That's good to know that at least we've got like a starting point to go back from. I have a whole family of enablers, indeed, Huntress. I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else. I don't think there's anyone else in the family that's into. I mean, I'm the only GI Joe nut. Let's face it. But funny story. Kate and I were in the UK one year, like many years back. This was like it was when we were like together early on, and we were with Mom and Dad, and I was talking about something with Kate in regards to what like there was I don't know what prompted this, but Dusty, like I think I was showing Mom like a picture of Dusty. I think it was the classified figure, maybe, or something Dusty related. Didn't say anything. There wasn't a name on the screen. And Mum went, "Oh, Dusty," like it was an old friend. And I remember looking at Kate, and Kate was like, "Wow, how did you know Dusty?" And I was like, "How?" I was impressed. But yeah, so she's picked up a little bit, because I would watch the cartoon like over and over again on VHS tapes. I would like be playing with the toys all the time, reading the comics constantly. It was like now, basically. It's now, but I was a child. so so she picked up a lot. She watched Worlds Without End probably 30 million times. So yeah. Anyway, shout out to my wonderful family and my lovely mum and dad. Of course. And it was my dad's birthday recently on the 13th of March. So shout out to my dad on his birthday as well. My mother surprises me like that too, says Huntress. That's cool. Grizzlehorn says, "Happy St. Patty's Day all. I'm off to eat corned beef and cabbage that I've been cooking while listening." That sounds really nice. Have fun. What we're saying, how did you spend your time before Classified was the thing? Jason, I had plenty of stuff to do. Productively, maybe. I would say there was obviously, before Classified, we did a lot of stuff with like the 4-inch figures during the kind of club years as well. Like there was a lot to talk about. Sparks, Recall, Repeat, and Muskrat, says Renard Brown. Brilliant. Love all of those. And I would love all of them in Classified as well. I mean, this podcast technically is like, I want to say we started this thing. God, when did we start this? It was like 2013. No. 2011, 12, 13, something like that. Oh, it's something gross like that. I think it was like 2012, 2013 time when we first started the podcast. So it's been a long time. We were doing GI Joe Collectors Club stuff, covering all of that. Yeah, there were lots of GI Joe stuff back then as well to talk about, and it was an audio podcast to start with, and then we kind of changed tack a little bit, and I kind of took it into the video based realm, and then ended up on my own with it, really. Anyway, that is enough of the leak listings. Let's move on to the name only reveals that we have at the moment, which is Iceberg, Deep Six, and Jabang. They're the only remaining name onlys that are left. I've updated the digital renders. I've removed Zanya and Prof Rottclaw. So I'll be removing Duke and Night Creeper next, but at least we get one episode of this graphic, right? Just like we had one episode yesterday of the graphic with Professor Rockclaw's render in there. I don't think we're going to get the renders for Duke and Night Creeper in time, unfortunately. Thank you for the stream, McLeod, says Grizzlehorn. Thank you. Chris Shea says, "I remember when Lenny goofed by name dropping Road Pig. Emily goes, we didn't mention Road Pig yet." Lenny goes, "Are you sure? I thought we had." Emily goes, "Nope, look at Chris's face when Lenny said you'll have time, edit out." Emily says that they'll give to you. Wasn't that on, I think the Road Pig one actually wasn't that on Adventures in Collecting? I don't remember. Did we get that name dropped by accident? Christopher Shea, you're a better memory than I am, because I remember that whole situation, but I don't remember being in that scenario. Isn't that hilarious? Anyway, thank you for remembering that. If that is what happened, I'm terrible. I forget everything now. Collectors have always had vices to get their fix, says Huntress. Indeed. Pathfinder, we want those, Joes. Yeah, Pathfinder would be dope, Renard, definitely. Was Classified a finite pivot from 4-inch in 2020? Pretty much. We didn't get 4-inch because there was a period of time where it was just, there was nothing. It was like a void. So you got to the end of I thought it was Adventures in Collecting. I thought it was. So yeah, you get to the end of like the GI Joe Collectors Club kind of figures, and there was 50th anniversary was the last thing that was in Toys R Us, and then it just went silent for like a couple of years, and then eventually we got 2020 Toy Fair Classified reveal, and boom, that's what it was. And they tried to they still were doing retro 4-inch though, if you remember, in that same time period. They were doing retro carded 4-inch figures, but they didn't have much in the way of 4-inch molds remaining. And we just had like Snake Eyes, a Roadblock, just a couple of figures that we'd had very recently, sort of like redone. And then they started doing, I remember as well, this like 2020, 2021, Zap was sort of like a new figure. The Fang was new, retro vehicle, sort of like a rejig of the Fang that, you know, was a bit weird. And the 4-inch figure was a different build, kind of like Cobra Air Trooper. And they were really odd because they were a completely different construction than the other 4-inch figures and looked very different from what I remember. Those sort of like that Zap and Fang helicopter pilot looks so weird. Anyway, yeah, so there was definitely it wasn't a complete pivot, but it was like they phased out the retro 4-inch. Higher Toys eventually taking up the 4-inch mantle and doing their thing with it, but again, different vibe entirely. And they were still churning out the occasional retro 3 3/4 O-ring figure, weren't they, as well? And obviously kept doing that with the Transformers crossovers, but haven't done that for a while now. But yeah, 6-inch really took over in a big way, and genuinely like has been like a runaway success, really, hasn't it? Back when podcasts were still formatted on the iPod, pretty much. Anyway, right. Yes, Ropig was Adventures in Collecting. Yeah, okay, cool. Thanks for that clarification. I'm pretty sure it was, but yeah, like I said, I remember that whole explanation of what happened. I just don't remember me being involved with it. Anyway, right then, that's everything. One more thing, obviously the teasers and leaks. Of course, we've got the Retro Wild Bill. We've got Deep Six, as you can see in the background of the Hydro Viper promo images, and we have the classified Ramp Rats, which will be going up later, of course. I think later in April, but the way things are dropping at the moment, and Legacy Special Forces sort of being in stores, who ruddy knows? Anyway, that's everything, guys. Thank you so much for joining me to talk classified updates and lots of other things as well. I will return probably this week again, because again, it just seems to be like news left, right, and bloody center, which is good. I'm happy. I like this. I like doing, daily news bursts. It kind of feels, like you guys are getting a decent amount of content. What was the other thing I was going to say? Well, yeah, of course, we've got the March 19th Walmart CollectorCon pre-orders, so I'll probably go live on Thursday. If there's any news worth talking about tomorrow, then of course I'll go live tomorrow as well. But I do actually have 2 very important recordings happening on Wednesday. Like I said, the O-Ring special with Adam and Pat, and I'm also doing a special Skeletron recording with the wonderful Ben Conway and Marco Byrne. So that will be recorded tomorrow, but both of those episodes will go out later, of course, because I have to edit them, and that's going to be a lot of work. So sorry. Saint Brutus says, I think it's long time you had another Freudian slip, Chris. You mean to give you another release? Kitty said. Right then. Anyway, see you guys on the next one. Thank you very much. Always appreciate you guys in the chat. Always appreciate the support and the lovely comments and the fun back and forth and the questions, all that good stuff. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Latest. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.